the extraordinary nature of these disclosures, I guess it would be difficult to overstate in that, between what happened last week with the first batch and this batch, it shows that Twitter just wasn't, quote, lying and engaged in, misconduct that's unimportant. But, this is the sort of stuff that gets people sometimes thrown in jail when you lie to users and shareholders and regulators and Congress. There are a few corporate heads who would have, put their company's head on the block like this. But certainly the prior management of Twitter, it seems to me, has significant legal issues they should be worrying about. Of course, the challenge is that the federal agencies are run by the Biden administration, and they support this type of misconduct, so they're unlikely to pursue it, and more likely, as we've been talking about, to pursue Elon Musk. My second point is this comports with everything I had gone through. I had tweeted several times a straightforward tweet: hydroxychloroquine is a safe drug. I didn't tie it to COVID. That's all I said, and I was repeatedly tweeting it, once a week or so. And at one point, someone complained about it, and Twitter in October of 2020 told me, we got this complaint, but it's fine. It doesn't violate our rules. Well, then on January 8th, they not only told me it violated its rules, they took it down and locked my account, and I refused to remove the tweet for several months afterwards. But in the meantime, I constantly appealed. They ignored the appeal. At one point, they said I was engaged in hate speech. And so it just shows you how arbitrary and capricious the whole process was for a major account like mine, which had been retweeted repeatedly by President Trump. And, I'm the head of a national watchdog organization as well. And thirdly, just to wrap up, I would suggest that, and I know Elon Musk talked about this in the last Twitter space, that, eventually all the documents are going to come out, but there are going to be these reports in the meantime. If I were him, I would focus on just getting all the documents out. We don't need any more gatekeepers that however honest they are in their reporting and whatever good faith activities they're undertaking to try to get the truth out to as many people as quickly as possible. There are always going to be more questions, not only by those like us, but by the enemies on the outside. And the best way to overcome that is to maybe highlight the documents that you found that are important after review of all the documents that are potentially releasable, and just release them all at once. I mean, that's what Judicial Watch does. And we highlight the documents we think are important, but we post them all for everyone to see. And as long as these documents aren't given to the other media, they have an excuse not to report on them. And so we can complain they're not going to report on it, but they have this journalism rule that they have to have the documents and access to the material before they report on it. So, I don't want to go too hardcore on it, but that would be my approach here. Because now everyone's going to be wondering, well, am I on the list? How are they going to figure that out? How long are we going to wait for that? And if I were him, I'd say, let's get all these documents together, put them out there. We can have favored reporters and folks that we think will give them a fair and honest review, look at them to help people guide them through the mess of documents. But we just need to get them all out there. Thank you.
Thank you, Tom. Tom, if I could ask you really quick, did you notice a distinct decrease in engagement on your Twitter profile once President Trump began interacting with you and retweeting you and so forth?
Yeah, I thought it was pretty remarkable because how many followers did he have? 65 million or something?
At the time, about that. Mm-hmm.
And I would get virtually no increase in followers.
Wow.
And, I thought something was up. I couldn't put my finger on it. And so I think they were suppressing his reach as much as mine at that point, because it didn't make any sense that an account that big, even with a lot of, automated followers, as I'm sure an account like that had, wouldn't result in a big increase. I would get more organic growth of my Twitter account. From my own tweets as from his retweets. It was really remarkable. All of that has changed since it was announced Twitter was going to be purchased by Elon Musk. I suspect they turned off a lot of these tools for when he first announced it. and the engagement and the follower accounts, and I'm sure you're seeing this too, are increasing, in ways that I've never seen before since I've opened the account.